Welcome to this film about marvels. It was an old amusement park in Scarborough which closed down in 1999. This was where people used to get on the chairlift by the sea at North Bay, and then they'd ride on the chairlift to go to this amusement park, which was called Mr. Marvel's. In the 1970s, it was a zoo called Marineland, and then in the 1980s, it became known as Mr. Marvel's Amusement Park, and it closed down in the public in 1999. In the 2000s, it became just ruins, and then in 2010 they destroyed a couple more ruins, and now there's only very few remains of it. We are now just taking you up where the chairlift used to go, up to Mr. Marvel's Amusement Park. This shows you as you're getting further and further away from the North Bay, where people used to get on the chairlift. This is all what remains of the wires where the cable cars used to go on. Most of them on this chairlift have been taken down by the council of Scarborough. These are the only cables that are now left of the chairlift that used to come into Marvel's. And this is where you used to go in. This is the bit where the cable car from North Bay used to come in, and people used to get off and arrive in this amusement park full of rides and attractions. Now all that's left on it is graffiti, and the motors are just rusty and burnt out. This is where there used to be lots of rides, and you can imagine lots of people being here back in the 90s. Now it's just deserted, with just lots and lots of old ancient ruins. This is where the old racing track for the racing cars used to be. And the yellow things that you see there are where the starting point of the racing track used to be. That is where the flag person used to stand to flag them on, and then they'd start racing. And there's more of it, the track where the racing cars used to race around. This is a carving of somebody's name that they made when Marvel's Amusement Park first opened up in 1983. This is where there used to be a path that used to go through the amusement park, now all overgrown with grass. We are now taking you to show you what used to be an amusement arcade, which used to be sort of a round tent. Now this is all that remains of it. When I went back in 1998, I can remember my cousin going into this amusement arcade that was here and going on a punch bag thing. And that was where you used to enter into the amusement arcade. And that's one bit left over from one of the amusement machines. And another part of an amusement machine. And a bag left over, which was an emergency drop-in valve. And that was a way out of the amusement arcade and another path overgrown. More of the amusement park and more paths which have now overgrown. Another part thereof. Another ride. Don't know what that was. And there's part of another ride now with a bush grown in it. Another cable for yet another ride, which was part of the amusement park of Mr. Marvel's, and more rubble and wreckage. We now show you which was part of the old crazy golf for Marvel's. And there's one of the holes that you used to have to get the golf balls in. And here's another crazy golf frame coming up. And we used to have to pot the golf ball into this one. And yet another part of the old crazy golf. And there's the cash point place where you used to have to pay for the crazy golf. And that's all that remains of it in 2011. More bits of the crazy golf here. This is now a wood, but some of it was built on which it was part of the old crazy golf in Mr. Marvel's amusement park. You can just about make out the hole where the golf ball used to go into. And there's another another crazy golf frame which has really got worn away. And there's the steps which used to go up to the kids slide where kids used to slide down. That's all that remains of it now. This is more ruins of the amusement park where all the kids' rides used to be. Over there was a ride that I went on when I went in 1998 and I got thrown off it for jumping over a little girl. But this is all that remains of it now here in 2011. It was one of those rides where there's loads of tents where there was red and green and yellow ones and there was like a black tube going into them. Well, I got thrown off the ride here for jumping over a little girl back when I went in 1998. What you see now over there used to be a building where a ghost train used to be. And a man used to frighten anybody that used to walk past the entrance to the ghost train. My cousin went on it and got scared to death because there was ghosts and spiders coming out of his face. But now all it is just a big hedge and a big bush. And there's over to the other side of it. And next to it, I believe there was a roller coaster next to it. That's where the entrance to the ghost train used to be, where that man used to frighten people all the time. And that shows you over to some other steps that used to lead on to another ride. I believe that was the dinosaur park. And this is all that's left of the lake where the bumper boats used to be. Here's the lake again, zoomed in a bit closer, but a lot of it has now gone or has been drained, and now it's just a little lake. These were stones which were part of the old dinosaur park that used to be in Mr. Marvel's. And that's showing you back over to the chairlift again. And this is where the dinosaur park used to be. This is a more closer up of it. The other chairlift that people used to get to go back to Peazone Park like I did when I went in 1998. Still the old arrow showing the way where people used to get onto the chairlift. And this is the old engine that used to work it, now all gone rusty. For this cable car though, they have still kept the wires that used to run them. And it used to go across a field, and that's the bit where it used to go down into Peazone Park. This is it now coming down into Peazone Park. And that's where people used to get off at Peazone Park after being at Marvel's. And they've still kept the building at Peazone Park where the cable car used to go in, or the chairlift. And this is where it used to come out here at Peazone Park. Instead of using the chairlift though, you could come up this road and go into the amusement park. These steps were yet another way into Mr. Marvel's. But instead, what they did in 2010 was restore the old open air theatre, and here it is looking like new. They may have restored the open air theatre, but as for old Mr. Marvel's amusement park, it still remains a distant memory after it closed down after the summer season in autumn 1999, and then was demolished and just remains all of old ruins. I hope you've enjoyed watching this film, and I hope it's brought back memories from your days at Marvel's. It certainly has for mine. And here is one last little view of the old ruins of old Mr. Marvel's amusement park in Scarborough.